let's go back to Louis. So you found out that he was born in Switzerland,
Yeah.
and you took an interest, and what did you discover?
First of all, I discovered no, there are no books out there except for a couple of French uh, publications, and I was kind of surprised to not find much in the U.S.
Right.
So I thought, well, that's great. That's great. That's great for me, so I can start fresh. And
Sure.
um, I started traveling to the U.S. and searching archives and whatnot. And it's been a great adventure. The starting point was, and that's got to be fun for Americans, and for me too. The starting point was in on the 4th of July in 2007 in Indianapolis,
Okay.
and I was there with my cousin, who actually lives in the U.S., and we drove to Indy, and we checked out the racetrack and the museum and everything. Found that bust of Louis Chevrolet outside of the museum,
Cool.
and later that night we went to the movies to see the first Transformers movie. So we saw that fifth generation Camaro
Yeah.
reveal,
Bumblebee.
and yeah, Bumblebee, and that was a great start. So
Yeah.
I was gung ho. I was like, this is the best time I've ever had to kick off that project.
Sure.
From then on, I traveled to the US at least once or twice a year.
Wow.
Spent a lot of time in Indianapolis and Detroit and Flint, and just made connections with public libraries and General Motors and all those archives, and really dug deeper into reference material. And finally, I published my first book in 2011 in German.
Okay.
So that was just in time for the Chevy Centennial.
Yes.
And that was a great start. And from then on, I've been continuing my research, and currently I'm organizing my documentation and all the stuff I gathered to write my second book, which will be published in English.
Okay.
So that's
About Louis?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You
Yeah.
know, I was talking to somebody, again, Danny, that I told you about, and we were talking about how, I mean, you can find anything about Henry Ford. I mean,
Yes.
there's just so much information about it, and Ford celebrates, their history and everything like that. And obviously Chevy celebrates their history, but, there's not much about Louis. And I remember I was a kid and I was growing up, around the classic car culture, and I think somebody told me he was French, and so he was born in Switzerland, but he ended up going to France for a little bit. Is that correct?
Well, he was born in the French-speaking part of Switzerland.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
why. And yes, at age 7, his family moved to France, to a town in the Burgundy region. So French is a part of Swiss culture. So
Okay.
it's the French-speaking part. Yeah.
Got it. And so he started off building watches. Is that correct? Or learning how to repair watches or clocks?
Well, his father was a watchmaker.
Okay.
He worked for a watchmaking company in Louis' birth town, and but Louis himself, he got a job at a bicycle repair shop. So he got into bikes, and from then on to horseless carriages and automobiles.
Okay. So started off with the mechanics and learning the basics of it, and then internal combustion motors.
Right, right.
Okay. And then somewhere along the way, he fixed something for somebody pretty important, right?
Yeah, you're referring to that tricycle story, correct?
Yes.
That was in 1893 in Beaune, that city in the Burgundy region where Louis and his family lived. And there was a gentleman who couldn't get his tricycle to get running. So Louis, at age 15, managed to start that tricycle, and that was really his success, or his kind of like a revelation. He could fix something and get this vehicle going. So that
Yeah.
really, he felt like the happiest person on this planet.
He found his calling.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Later on, Louis joined the bicycle club, the local bicycle club. He raced bikes, was pretty successful, and at age 20, he left home and moved to Paris, France. He did like 2 years of apprenticeship in the new car factories in Paris, like with Darracq and Morse and other companies
Okay.
who were on the cutting edge of the new automobile technology, so to say.
And
Yeah.
so he was learning, all the ins and outs of automobiles, and then eventually came over
Right.
to the States.
Yeah, so he say during those 2 years in Paris, he saved up money to being able to pay for the transfer for the trip to North America, because that's where he and some of his colleagues knew there was opportunity for good mechanics, and so they went.
And where'd they go?
Well, as a French-speaking person, he he was inclined to enter North America in Montreal. So he spent about 6 months in Montreal, but it didn't really go well for him, because he found out that there was more work opportunities on the East Coast. So he moved to Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there he joined. He was employed by De Dion, a local reseller of De Dion automobiles. And so that's how he got into the automobile business.
Okay. And how long did he stay there?
Well, it is unclear, but we know that he, after a couple of years or so, he got a job with Fiat, with the local distributor of Fiat.
Okay.
And that job finally led him to being able to compete in racing.
Had he done racing back home or in France, or is this his first foray into racing?
That was his first foray.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
He was a riding mechanic. He he worked in the shop. He was a riding mechanic for some race car drivers. But finally, when his employer, the Fiat distributor, called him as a replacement driver, he really did his first real stint at a race in 1905.
Okay.
And he beat Barney Oldfield in his first race, and that really put him on the map.
Okay.
I mean, beating the Barney Oldfield, that was quite the feat.
So that made some waves.
Yes, absolutely.
Did he have
And
better equipment, or was he just a better driver, or was it both?
they said he was a fearless racer. He was a daredevil racer. They called him the French Daredevil. They still thought he was French, but okay.
Okay.
And
Not just me.
no, but he also had a good engine. Those 90 horsepower Fiats were pretty powerful back then. So
Okay.
it's probably a combination of both, as always.
Okay.
The driver and the machine, and
Yeah. And what a cool, marriage of his mechanical ability and his racing ability, and it's just really starting to set the stage for what will come. But certainly helps me understand, Chevy's roots as far as, mechanics and performance. But so anyways, so he wins this race, makes a name for himself. What happens next?
well, he repeatedly beat Barney Oldfield that same year. So in 1905 was really his first great year of racing. He beat Barney Oldfield several times, and he rose to instant fame. He was just the man in that year. So he was also invited to some other events like the Vanderbilt Cup race in late 1905, and in 1906 he got a chance to compete in Ormond Beach, the Ormond Beach races.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was his first and only race. And, in Ormond Beach, they did those speed tests, standing mile, and all that. Well, you certainly know.
Yeah, it's not far from here.
Yeah. And so Louis was actually, he was the riding mechanic for Walter Christie in 1906 in Ormond Beach. But he got a chance to be a replacement driver for a famous French driver, Victor Hemery. And so Louis got a chance to do a couple of runs with the Darroch V8 car with those 25 liter engines, and he did a record run with this Darroch automobile. I think it was 118 miles per hour on the beach.
On the beach. Wow.
Yeah.
Did that set a record at the time?
Yes, that was a record at the time.
Okay.
So that was pretty huge. So that was another success that put him really out there.
Okay. So we're building up credibility, we're building up rapport,
Yes.
we're building up a legend status.